This week on 49ers Cal High Sports Report presented by U.S. Bank, we'll go back in time for the most emotional and impactful feature stories from the past 18 years. We'll see NBA star Ivan Rabb and his battles in high school. We'll update you on Nick Murtha and his life after cancer, Grant Bell, the self-proclaimed one-legged wonder, and lots more. But we'll start tonight with the story we did on McClymonds coach Dwight Nathaniel back in 2006.
Yolo County authorities say they are investigating the death of a 35-year-old mother and her 9-year-old daughter as a murder-suicide. Kaja Taylor and her daughter were killed late last night after their car was hit by a Union Pacific train in Davis.
The woman killed that night was the daughter of McClymonds head basketball coach Dwight Nathaniel, the 9-year-old girl, Coach Mo's granddaughter.
When I lost my daughter, my granddaughter, it really hurt me, particularly my granddaughter, you know, because she had, a year ago, came and lived with me for a year. And she kind of brought life back into my household. And so when I lost him, I was kind of devastated and I was stunned for weeks. I was off work for about a month and a half. I was away from the kids. And just like with my wife, I was kind of going crazy at home.
Coach Mo lost his wife in a terrible car accident 2 years earlier. He wears her wedding ring on a chain around his neck so she can always be close to his heart. 3 generations of Coach Mo's family lost in the past 2 years.
Man, when we first heard about it, the whole team, we just got together and everybody was like feeling it, like, man, everybody was crying a little bit, everybody shed a tear.
The support from the players and the McClymonds community helped Coach Mo persevere. He knew his players understood very well the agony he was feeling.
Actually, I cried, though, I cried for him because I know what he's going through. Like, for me, I lost my mom, and I know that's a hard thing to lose. But for him, just the first thing when I called him and told him I love him. He needed anything, I'm here for him.
4 years ago, Sim's mother died from a brain aneurysm. He was an 8th grader then. It was basketball that helped him stay positive about life.
At first, I just wanted to give up on everything. But then I just found the strength. Actually, basketball kept me going. Then I came here as a freshman and I got cut. But that didn't make me stop, so I just kept going at it, kept my grades up. But my thing is to make her proud, because she always was proud of me as I was a kid. Told me I was going to be something, so I got to keep striving for that.
The Warriors made it all the way to the state title game last season, everyone expecting Frank Otis to lead the team to the title. But the Warriors were distracted by everything surrounding the event and lost big. Otis and his teammates played probably their worst game of the season.
But as we come to realize that Coach talked to us, we made a big impact because we brought a lot of people back to our neighborhood to come see us play, and like people they ain't seen in lots of years to come and see us play, and it's like amazing.
I'm going down hard this year. I'm going down with a bang. I'm getting back to the state championship and winning it this year.
Coach Mo is coaching his final season at MAC. He wants to spend some time with his 2 surviving grandchildren, including a girl who he says is a darn good basketball player. Even after the tragic accidents, Coach Mo wanted to keep his promise and stay with Frank Otis throughout the Big Forward's senior year.
Yeah, that's big. That's big because, I came in here in 9th grade. He told me he was going to retire, but when he heard I was coming, he said I might stay like 4 more years with you. So I was like, that's cool.
He's like a son, you know. His mom, you know, was really close to my wife, and him and I had a connection from day one, so he's been like a son to me.
So now these Warriors from McClymonds set off on a new journey with their sights set on winning the state title this time. They know as defending NorCal champs, other teams will be trying to knock them off, but the players are determined to win it for themselves and for Coach Mo.
Welcome back to Arco Arena in Sacramento, California for the D1 State Championship game between Dominguez and McClymonds. I'm Daniel Warnke alongside my good friend from MaxSpreads.com, Mitch Stevens. Mitch, these two teams have combined for 63 wins this season and both have some very fun players to watch.
Oh my gosh, McClymonds has Damon Powell. The guy just he jumps out of the gym, he dunks the ball, he's just a highlight reel. And for Dominguez, Jordan Hamilton is one of the 5 best juniors in the country. He's got every skill imaginable. He's a fantastic player.
MAC putting its perfect season on the line tonight. Let's see if they can come away with the state title. Here now, the monster action. First quarter, McClymonds comes out strong. Will Cherry with the 6 spin for the tough lane, plus the foul, and we're just getting started. Moments later, it's Frank Otis driving to the goal before dishing it off to Damon Powell for the jam. Powell all fired up, Mac up by 6. But here comes Jordan Hamilton and the Dons, the 6'8 senior gliding to the bucket for the pull-up J. Jordan would finish with a game-high 20. More Dominguez in the second. Check out Bryce Cartwright doing it all in this play, creating, spinning, and finding Warren Turner under the hoop for 2. Dons up by 4. The Climates responds with a run of their own. Frank the Tank getting dirty in the paint before finding Cherry for the Bunny. 35-31 Warriors at the break. Third quarter, Mac runs away with it. Quincy Hill can't get the tough look to go, but David can't get out of the way. Powell with a nasty putback slam. Moments later, it's DeMario Sims running the floor and finishing off the fast break with the land. Mac up by 10. Still in the third, Mac clicking on all cylinders. Will Cherry leading the 3-on-1 and dropping off the pretty no-look pass to Frank for the deuce. Fourth quarter now, and Sims puts the icing on the cake. The senior guard with the hard drive and ridiculous scoop as the McClymonds Warriors complete the perfect season, winning the D1 state title by the final of 73-54.
For Coach Mo, for him to lead with a state championship, it feels real good. And to be with no losses, it feels real good.
We wanted him to go out with a bang. We didn't want his last memory of us going 31-1, so we really just came out with a bang. And plus, we owe it to ourselves to go out after the loss we had to Fairfax last year in the state title.
In Sacramento with the Monster Game, I'm Daniel Warnke, Cal High Sports, Bay Area.
This story starts at Bishop O'Dowd High School. If you pass the quad, hang a right at the annex, and head up to the second floor, you'll find yourself in room 25 where Ivan Rabb is hard at work. Rabb is a sophomore at BOD and plays on the varsity basketball team. And when I say he plays, I mean he plays very, very well. Ivan is just a sophomore this season, but BOD will be leaning on him to lead the squad, something he's grown into the past year at O'Dowd.
You always have to be focused on not only looking for yourself, but also facilitate and play team basketball and be a leader. Make sure you're a leader no matter who's out there.
Leadership is a trait Ivan has learned over the past year, and it started in the classroom. When he first began school at O'Dowd, Ivan was surprised at the academic load versus his old school. But hard work is a trait Bishop O'Dowd will instill in you if you stick with it. As an incoming freshman, Ivan was well above a 3.0 GPA, but dipped to 2.0 in his first year at BOD because of the difficulty. But Ivan has learned he must excel in class as well as on the court, raising his grades to a 3.0 now, emphasizing the student and the student athlete.
He was challenged, academically when he got here, from not only from a recall perspective, but definitely from a work ethic perspective. And I think Ivan struggled emotionally and mentally when he first got here, just because did he really want to do the work? Was it worth it?
But hard work is a trait Bishop O'Dowd will instill in you if you stick with it. As an incoming freshman, Ivan was well above a 3.0 GPA, but dipped to 2.0 in his first year at BOD because of the difficulty. But Ivan has learned he must excel in class as well as on the court, raising his grades to a 3.0 now, emphasizing the student and the student athlete.
The workload, but then also like what they expect out of you, and just it's basically, it's like how it is in basketball. They just want you to come work, listen, get your work done, and hopefully you do well.
But academics are only half this story. The second part is Ivan's journey to basketball stardom on the BOD court. Over the summer, Ivan has jumped onto the national stage in a big way. Rabb built a reputation at the LeBron James Skills Academy. Now all of a sudden, Ivan is considered one of the best big men in his class nationally and showed it at USA Basketball.
He went to USA Basketball this past fall, and he was the best player there. And when I say best player, best attitude, worked harder than anybody, was the leader of the camp.
But now with such high praise comes more problems, such as street agents and other adults trying to get a piece of Ivan, promising the riches and fame of pro ball to a 15-year-old.
Maybe I get messages, emails. I hear other people talking. People come talk to somebody that I know, and then that message comes back to me, and then they expect the answer. But honestly, I don't really have an answer.
One of the problems that a player of Ivan's caliber has is all the hype he gets, both from AAU, from rankings, from people who want to come in and say, come and play for me. I would like to be your agent. You might go to the NBA. And those are destructive comments for somebody like Ivan.
But Ivan has been smart about it all so far, focusing on what basketball can provide him and his family.
With basketball, I just want to get a free education in college because I may not be able to go to the pros, so I just want to take care of my business in the classroom.
And as Ivan Rabb's game and name grow, so does his responsibility, and he wouldn't have it any other way. At Bishop O'Dowd High School in Oakland, I'm Taylor Lambert, Cal Sports Bay Area.
Coming up, the story of Leland basketball star Nick Murtha and his inspirational battle with cancer.
I'm gonna be a ballerina.
Good, better, Emma. Answer to new.
I'm gonna be president.
And the winner for president is Emma Williamson.
I'm gonna start a juice bar.
Emma, the numbers are looking really good. You're gonna start a juice bar.
At US Bank, we believe hard work works. And for everyone working toward a goal, we are here to help.
This is the home of infinite possibilities, where we're setting a new standard of care, where the furthest innovations in medicine connect us back to the simplest forms of healing, where our world-class medical team includes you and those you love most. At Stanford Healthcare, we pride ourselves on providing every kind of care for every kind of patient.
Since 1974, there's been just one goal. One thing we work for. The pursuit binds us together and pushes us forward. One family with one mission. To win for this city. Vamos, San Jose.
49ers Cal High Sports Report is brought to you by these fine companies who care about high school sports. By Tri-Counties Bank, service with solutions. 12 locations now open in the Bay Area. By DGDG.com, where we want you to be a happy car buyer. By the Rikes Center, where goals and dreams become a reality. And by Diablo Motors. Life's too short to drive a crummy car.
Really, all Nick Murtha wanted to do was play basketball his senior season. Last winter, playing his junior season at Leland High School, the Chargers had a good year, with Nick and the team optimistic, with most of the team coming back for their senior season. This past summer, Nick was playing in a summer league game. This hit in a game against Los Gatos set in motion a series of events that would change Nick's life forever.
Just like a headache pain that was just so bad, and then I got home and the pain just got worse and worse.
Nick continued to play. The headaches were eventually diagnosed as a concussion, with a brain scan set to assess the damage.
I'm waiting in the waiting room thinking I was just going to take him home, and the tech came out and said, you need to go right to the emergency room.
And then we go into the ER, and I'm just sitting there kind of shaking at that point. All right, can someone tell me what's going on? And then one of the nurses comes up. He's like, you have a mass on the right frontal lobe of your brain. And I was just kind of like, okay.
Nick was transported immediately to Lucille Packard Children's Hospital at Stanford. There they met renowned pediatric neurosurgeon Dr. Gerald Grant.
So this is Nick's scan here, and it shows the cystic area surrounded by a lot of swelling of his brain. All this white here shows the swelling around the tumor. And this is something we act on very quickly because we don't want him to get sicker and sicker. The question is, what is this? We have no idea what to do next until we really figure this out, diagnose it, do surgery, and find out what's going on.
Just 2 days later, on July 20th, Nick goes into surgery to have the tumor removed. The night before, Nick sends a text to his friends telling them the news.
My phone just got flooded with really nice texts from friends and people I knew, and coaches and whatnot, and it was just like a time, like I was as weird as it was, that was like one of the happiest like days, nights of my life, like the day before, because people were like, it just shows like how important like having a powerful or like really nice community around you can be.
Please, God, let him be okay. And just having faith in the doctors that they knew exactly what they were doing and that he was going to be okay.
The surgery is a success. Though you can't be sure every cell from the tumor is eliminated, Dr. Grant is confident in the way the tumor was removed.
Luckily for his tumor, under the microscope, we could tell very subtle features of that it was different from the edge around it.
And they told me that with the tumor and the cyst, it was like the size of an orange. So I was pretty much playing with like a mass in my head the size of an orange for a while, which is that's kind of brutal.
Nick and his family then waited 10 days to get the preliminary pathology report. The result? Glioblastoma, a horrible kind of malignant tumor. With this diagnosis, Nick would have no more than 18 months to live.
I don't even know if we were thinking. It was kind of just like shell shock, just terrified, just scared out of our minds.
Looking back, I was like crying at the point I was playing basketball, and then later I realized like it's much bigger than basketball. Like they're kind of giving me a certain amount of time. Like it's beating this isn't. It's really rare, and my chances weren't too good to even like survive at that point.
The family went away on vacation knowing it might be their last as a whole family. Nick would be facing the fight of his life when they returned home. It was their next hospital appointment when their lives would be rocked again.
We go back to Stanford for a checkup, and they come in and they're like, we have really good news, and there's been a change in pathology.
A more sophisticated check of the tumor revealed it was not a glioblastoma, that Nick's cancer is curable. Nick would still need radiation and chemotherapy, but he would likely get better.
That made me cry very hard, actually. I kind of broke down again, but knowing, like, basically we got our son back. And from that point on, nothing really seemed as bad because we thought we were dealing with the worst case, and it ended up being better.
And if it's malignant, we know there could be just one cell that can drive a recurrence. One unique cell can do that. So we have to then follow it up with something. When we got that tumor down, we're going to keep pounding it and really try to cure this. That's the goal of every kid's tumor. We really want to cure their disease.
Right away, Nick got back to the gym, working out with his dad at the local middle school. Basketball his senior season was once again a possibility. Nick was aiming at a final preseason holiday tournament for his return to action, the DJ Franson tournament at Bellarmine Prep, named after a Bellarmine grad who had battled cancer for 19 years before his death in 2004.
I'm just excited to get it over with. That's pretty much it. I don't know, I'm really nervous.
After breezing through radiation, Nick was back in the hospital preparing for his first round of chemotherapy. A port was implanted in his left shoulder that would deliver the chemicals into his body.
Starting off with chemo, they put the port in your chest, and that kind of sucks having that in. And then we go to the hospital for chemo, stay there for 3 days, and you just feel so bad. It's like, I can't even really describe it.
After 3 weeks, isolated throughout 3 rounds of chemotherapy, Nick attends Leland's basketball practice.
Welcome back, our good friend over here.
The chemo done, but the effects are obvious. Nick is weak and pale.
In my second round of chemo, I caught a virus where I lost a lot of weight and didn't eat for a while. And it was tough to get rid of.
A basketball comeback now seems like a long shot. The DJ Franson tournament comes and Nick is nowhere near ready to play. He attends the games and sits on the bench. After the game, Nick meets DJ's father, Dave, and his brother, Kevin, the 2 men knowing very well what this teen is enduring. The tournament ends on Saturday night. Nick is named the tournament's most inspirational player, even though he doesn't play a minute on the court. Just after the new year, Nick's new start begins to take shape, working towards his comeback. He attends his first practice with his teammates. His head now clean shaven, he tires easily. His shoulder is in pain from the port that was implanted and from lack of use. He practices a few minutes at a time before standing on the sidelines to watch and regain his strength.
Legs still kind of feel like dead weight, and this arm's kind of useless right now.
The stands are filling up for the Chargers' Friday night game against Santa Teresa. There in uniform, taking the court for the Chargers, is Nick Murtha. Fans in the stands anticipating Nick's return to play. Everyone here is a tribute to Nick, who has handled his battle with courage and grace. Just before halftime, Nick takes the court. Nick just wanted to play basketball his senior season. 6 months after having an orange-sized tumor removed from his brain after debilitating chemotherapy, after battling to make it back, Nick plays. Coming up, our story on future NBA star Tyler Johnson and how Tyler's situation at home did not keep him from amazing success. But first, here is our final top 10 basketball poll for this past season.
I'm Greg Meyer, owner of Diablo Motors Auto Sales. We offer highest quality detailing services to keep your car looking its very best. More than just the local drive-through car wash options. Our expert detailing staff will go over every inch of your car, including inside, outside, and under the hood. Our services include professional paint correction, paint restoration, paint protection, sap removal, and headlight restoration. We also do bumper repair, rim repair, and paintless dent removal. So come see us in San Ramon. Get your car looking like new. Diablo Motors, the nice, honest, non-dealerish car store.
For more than 65 years, Cupertino Electric has been delivering power and possibilities. With offices throughout California and project sites throughout the U.S., Cupertino Electric today builds renewable, commercial, utility, and data center projects for some of the most influential companies in the world. Beyond that, we are a people company. We build family, communities, and meaningful careers. Visit CEI.com today or connect with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, or other social sites to see our openings and join our team.
Visit us at vcs.net.
We're San Benito High School, and you're watching 49ers Cal High Sports Report.
Tyler Johnson and his mom, Jennifer Johnson, have something special in common. Both of them like to fly high. Tyler on the basketball court and Jennifer for the U.S. Air Force.
My mom is a flight management officer in the Air Force. She cuts orders for pilots, telling them when they can fly on certain missions.
I just actually was watching a video on him the other day when he was like 10, and he kept trying to dunk, and I think after the 10th time he finally dunked.
Jennifer doesn't know where he got his jumping ability, but there's no doubt he has it.
I was able to dunk before he was, and then now he can just do so much more than I can, and I was really impressed with his hops.
There's a bunch of kids that are dunking now that weren't dunking as sophomores, but TJ has a extra gear as far as getting up in the air.
Tyler, or TJ as his friends call him, helped St. Francis to a CCS Division II title this season and is going to be a key player in the Lancers' push for a state berth.
You'll kill me for sharing this with you, but his first game his freshman year, I was a head freshman coach, and his freshman year, he missed a layup in his game, and he was so upset that he was tearing up. He was crying because he had missed this layup. And I'm like, TJ, I cannot put you back in if you don't quit crying. And he is just he wants to do so well. And he's a big part of what we're doing. He is one of our emotional leaders on this team.
For the most part, TJ is just like any other high schooler, except he and his 4 siblings have a parent who sometimes puts her life on the line to save others.
No matter what I'm doing with my job, 2 o'clock in the morning, get a call in to come do a rescue mission. My older son, Brandon, steps up and says, here, you know, him or Tyler will step up. Mom, I'll watch the kids. And so I can come into work and just be here to save someone's life and be part of that.
The 129th Rescue Wing, California Air National Guard, is where Tyler's mom calls home. She's back now after being gone for 2 months, just in time for the NorCal playoffs to watch Tyler play.
Watching Tyler smile every day and get more and more excited and more pumped up is just incredible.
Tyler knows it's special to have his mom in the stands. He never knows what or where her next mission could be.
It's a pretty dangerous job. You hear about people getting killed overseas all the time, and I don't know, it's just a scary thought every time she leaves. It's pretty hard.
For Tyler, the scariest part might be when Mom is home, because he says that's when it's a lot stricter on the homework front.
She's pretty strict on that. She doesn't really let me do anything until it's done, and she checks it and makes sure it's done right. When she's not here, that's probably when I struggle the most.
When TJ's mom is on a mission, he stays on the base or with friends. For him, the basketball court is a second home, and the St. Francis community has been like a second family.
We're really close. I mean, we go around school telling everyone that we're brothers, and a lot of people actually believe it because we're always together.
Mr. Motil is a big help in my life. He takes care of me at school, makes sure I'm getting my stuff done.
For this high-jumping junior and his highly courageous mom, basketball is something that brings them together. And like Jennifer, Tyler is not afraid of heights. So for this St. Francis Lancer, the sky is the limit.
Coming up, the John Scott Sens story, how to succeed at golf despite only partial use of half your body.
Sand squad. Drop top, coupe, Dodge raindrops. Big bag plays on FaceTime. Squad ain't with me, then it ain't right.
Tri-Counties Bank presents a unique brand of service with solutions, a welcoming and listening style of banking with solutions that help improve your financial well-being. With easy access to over 32,000 surcharge-free ATMs, advanced mobile banking, banker support by phone 7 days a week, and an extensive community-based branch network, you're never far from a friendly face. It's easy to switch to better banking. Tri-Counties Bank, service with solutions.
Why choose Invisalign over other aligners?
Are they comfortable and safe to wear?
I asked our doctor for a better alternative to braces, and he said,
only Invisalign aligners are made with SmartTrack technology.
Based on years of research, it moves teeth more comfortably and predictably than ordinary aligners. And in many cases, it works faster than braces. So I can develop a custom treatment plan that'll work for each of these smiles.
That's why Invisalign aligners have transformed millions of smiles.
Invisalign, transforming smiles, changing lives.
John Scott Sens makes golf look easy. With a smooth, powerful swing, he knocks one ball after another long and straight. But what looks easy is not. John Scott was born with cerebral palsy. He has what's called left side hemiplasia, where there is damage to the part of the brain that controls muscle movement.
Well, I was born with it. And really, it really hasn't affected me when I'm playing golf. I just take it as I'm a normal person.
When he was born, we were told that, you know, his chances of walking weren't going to be real good, that he'd probably be in a wheelchair. And, you know, no one told John Scott that.
The cerebral palsy affects John Scott's left hand and his left leg. He also has hearing loss in his left ear.
By the time John Scott got to high school, I mean, they could have made provisions for John Scott to ride in a cart. And John Scott basically said, hey, the other guys are walking, I'm walking.
So here he is, the top player on the Concord High School golf team, crushing the ball while shooting under 80 for 18 holes. His form is not picture perfect, but John Scott does what he needs to do to succeed with what he has.
I just play golf as it is, even though I have the disability. It doesn't really like I said, it really just doesn't affect me that much.
Started working with John Scott, and I tried to make some changes in his golf swing, and it just went terribly wrong. And I was like, okay, this is not working. And so I started making some phone calls to some different golf professionals who worked with wounded warriors and said, hey, give me some ideas, give me what you can do. And the first thing they said to me is, if it's not broken, quit trying to fix it.
John Scott wears a brace on his left leg and a glove on his left hand. The right side of his body does most of the work. This is John Scott as part of the First Tee program 8 years ago. He credits that program along with lots of support from physical therapists and his family for getting him to where he is today. Growing up with cerebral palsy was tough, with people teasing him and doubting what he could accomplish.
Sometimes I kind of break down a little bit, you know, but other times I just, if it's really bad, a tease, I sometimes break down, but if it's not, I just, you know, I just don't talk about it.
Kind of makes me sad, you know. Someone has a disability and you don't, doesn't mean you have to make fun of them, I think.
But for John Scott, there is no disability. He plays golf better than most people. He would like to go on and play in college.
It's helped me get to know a lot of good people, and also it's helped me get along with my current friends now who play golf.
Changing so much on his swing, when people first see him set up and grip the club, and they're like, and they don't expect much. And then all of a sudden he hits one and he hits a nice little fade right down the middle, and they look at it and go, wow.
And that's the best way to describe John Scott Sens, wow. But don't tell him he's anything special. He'll remind you he's just like anyone else. Coming up, Team Jennifer, the story of a high school community rallying to support one little girl. When you have family, you are never alone. With families, bigger is better. This is the Scherenberg family, spending time together on Thanksgiving night. 3 tables full of love and joy and togetherness. 6-year-old Jennifer is celebrating her 6th Thanksgiving as a member of this family. The oldest of 4 siblings, she shows off her sparkly dress and the Build-A-Bear she made for her brother. But the sad truth is Jennifer is likely celebrating her final Thanksgiving with her family. Doctors say by this time next year, she will be gone.
We were joking and laughing with the doctor, and she said the word, there is no cure. And it was literally, for me, like being punched in the gut. It was exactly what people say, that you feel like you're punched in the gut. And I think I just screamed and kind of fell into him, and I was wearing the baby in a little baby carrier, and I think I just screamed.
Day 2, it probably sets in a little bit more, and you cry. I mean, there's not much else you can do.
The diagnosis is a rare tumor on Jennifer's brainstem. It is inoperable and not curable. Children with this tumor typically die within 9 months. No child has lived with this more than 3 years.
And when the tumor starts to progress, it should progress very quickly. Where it is in her brain, she'll lose some motor function, she'll lose some drooping of the face, she'll lose strength in her hands. Both eyes will probably continue to turn inward. Ability to walk, and one of the hardest things for me is to swallow.
The Scherenberg family is high school sports royalty. Jennifer's Uncle Will is athletic director at Mitty. Another Uncle Eric is vice president of athletics and defensive coordinator at Valley Christian. Her Uncle Greg Calcagno is head football coach at St. Francis. Her cousin Trenton is starting quarterback at Mitty, with 2 other cousins, Monica and Kelly, part of the Mitty varsity field hockey team. Jennifer was honored at midfield when Valley Christian played St. Francis a few weeks ago. Jennifer's battle was just starting, with everyone joining her team. So 5 days a week, Jennifer is here at the Lucille Packard Children's Hospital at Stanford. The family has rented an apartment nearby to cut down on trips back and forth from their home in Gilroy. A different family member is here every day to watch baby Charlotte, while Libby is with Jennifer as she is sedated and receiving her radiation treatments.
When Jennifer goes into the treatment, somebody from among all the aunts and uncles and grandparents and people around will get what we're calling sort of cuddle time with Charlotte, where we'll walk around with her, and then usually they'll get time with Elizabeth after that to just be together to talk while Jennifer's in recovery. I think for all of us, it's been, just a really special time to be with Elizabeth and to be with both Jennifer and Charlotte, and from the power of our family just really coming together to hopefully take care of each other and work through it on the journey together.
Jennifer knows she is sick, but they haven't told her just how sick.
Right now, I don't think we feel it does any good. You know, we want her just to go on, have fun, enjoy, and
for as long as she can?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll always hope. There has to be that first kid that beats it. There has to be that first clinical trial, that first moment, that first kid.
The radiation treatments are designed to slow the progress of the symptoms, trying to make Jennifer's life as normal as possible for as long as possible. There are clinical trials, but that comes only after the symptoms progress rapidly.
She is learning what it means to be a real fighter, and I think what family means, that when the chips are down, those are the people that are surrounding us in our closest inner circle, and the people that are there helping and answering the calls and doing the things that we need.
Surprisingly, childhood cancer receives only 4% of all cancer research funds. The family believes a bigger concentration on childhood cancers could show the same kind of results as we've seen with breast cancer and prostate cancer.
There are 120 different types of brain tumors. And that's why for me, what I think about a lot is brain in general is so complicated, and brain tumors even more so than the average cancer. And if we can start there, especially pediatric brain tumors, if we can start there and start to unravel that and unlock that, I really believe that we can impact the rest of cancer.
Now the Scherenberg family will stay positive and help this 6-year-old girl with all the time she has left. The thought of what lies ahead is devastating.
You know, the older boy, Jonathan and Jennifer, they're best friends. I mean, I can't imagine what that's going to do to him.
I don't know how you go on. People do it. I can't even imagine it. That's why I write about it in my blog, to try and get it to penetrate. Because I can't. We watched her today rocking and running around with her cousins. And I think about next year, and will we come? Will we be able to be here with the rest of the family? I don't know.
The upcoming months will tell how the symptoms will progress, how hard all of this will be for Jennifer and her family. But however it goes, the Scherenberg family will work as a team to support each other during this terrible time. Coming up, the Grant Bell story, a one-legged wonder playing water polo at a Fremont high school.
Yeah, I'm looking at the numbers now. You sure I can do this?
Yeah, it's what we've been planning for.
Thank you. Hey, boy.
Hey, baby.
You know how I said I've been working on something big, right?
Sure.
This house is officially yours. You own it.
At U.S. Bank, we believe hard work works.
That's the look.
And our integrated approach to wealth management helps make sure your money keeps working as hard as you do.
Devcon Construction is #1 in the Bay Area and Silicon Valley because of trust. 95% of our business comes from repeat customers. They know the customer is our top priority. That's why Devcon was the choice for the 49ers Stadium and for the Earthquake Stadium. Devcon was also chosen when outstanding schools like Bellarmine, the Nueva School, and Mitty wanted the very best on time and on budget. Top Bay Area companies know Devcon is the best choice whether it's new construction or renovation. Devcon Construction, helping to build the best in Silicon Valley.
When I first came here, my goal was to be a contributing player on my high school's JV football team. The center actually not only helped me achieve my goals, but exceed even what I initially set out to do. I was able to continue playing football professionally through a lot of the things that I learned at the Rega Center. The Rega Center is a place to help you achieve your goals and then, tailor it to whatever the person's goals might be.
Think back to your childhood. For most of us, those memories are consumed with laughter and adventure, not a worry in the world. When Grant Bell, a sophomore at Washington High School, thinks back to when he was 5, his memories are much different.
I have memories of, like in those movies with the white lights going right above your head when you're getting pushed. They put a mask on me to knock me out and it felt like I was suffocating.
Grant was born with cyclic neutropenia, a blood disorder caused by low levels of white blood cells fighting bacteria in the blood. As a result, he was always sick. He took many antibiotics, injecting them into his leg to fight the infections. One day, in April of 2002, 5-year-old Grant told his parents a splotch had appeared on his leg, giving him severe pain. Grant's parents immediately took him to the emergency room. The rash continued to grow until it covered a large portion of his leg. It was at this point Grant's parents were faced with an incredibly difficult decision.
My parents had to make a quick decision to sign the paperwork to get my leg amputated.
From this point on, Grant would have to live his life as an amputee. He would be viewed as different from everybody else. Despite his handicap, Grant was never treated any differently at home.
I have 3 older brothers, and they didn't say anything, but they didn't treat me any different. They beat the crap out of me, but that's, yeah, they didn't really give me sympathy or anything.
Grant did not want pity and kept a positive outlook.
It was hard to see him go through that, but he was always like a happy guy. It's like he never let anything get down.
Grant is a member of the Washington Huskies water polo team and inspires his coaches and teammates daily with his relentless work ethic.
It's a big inspiration. It helps, even wanted me to get back in the water, and it's inspired me to try and help grow myself. And a lot of the teammates all start working harder when they see him in the water.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know how he makes it look so easy. If I had one leg, I don't even know if I could play this sport. He just gives it his all, and he's doing great.
I could be faster because I don't really kick when I swim. It's all my upper body, and I keep times with all the other kids, and so I'm not like finishing last. I hardly ever finish last.
Grant's favorite thing about playing this sport is watching the look on his opponent's face when they continually underestimate him and he proves them wrong.
If I was guarding a guy with one leg, I'd think it would be easy, but he's probably one of the strongest kids on the team. So it's really funny to see him like punk some kids.
They look at me, and so they don't, I guess they don't try as hard, or they just not as good. But yeah, I just outswim them because they don't think I can really do much.
It's no wonder Grant is so successful in the water. He has very few memories with 2 legs, so he doesn't know any different.
I'm almost happy it happened when I was little, so that I can't like want 2 legs because I don't know what it feels like. It's nothing I can change, so might as well live with it.
To live with it is an understatement. Grant can do more things with 1 leg than most people can with 2. He mountain bikes, water skis, downhill skis, rock climbs, and he even hiked to the top of Mission Peak.
It was actually with my Boy Scout troop, and so I tried to stay with my troop, and while we just hiked, the leader stayed with me if I got water breaks or anything, and I made it up and down, and I was fine. And then I got home and I collapsed in my bed.
To see Grant in the pool is to see something you never expect. Above the water, he looks like any other water polo player. But below the water is the story of a young man treading water in the pool, and even with 1 leg, is having great success in life.
Coming up, the Amador Valley Dawn inspiring his team while being a part of the game he loves. But first, here is our final top 10 basketball poll for this past season.
'49ers Cal High Sports Report is brought to you by these fine companies who care about high school sports. By Cupertino Electric, the company delivering power and possibilities and celebrating student athletes making a positive impact. By Invisalign, winning smiles start here. Learn more at Invisalign.com. By Stanford Healthcare. And by the Serino Group, here for good.
Hi, I'm Lucy Wiedemeyer, longtime broker with Serino Group. And my husband, Charlie Wiedemeyer, and I are longtime supporters of high school sports.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Pazine with Serino Group Real Estate, representing Palo Alto and the surrounding communities. I'm proud to support Bay Area high school sports on the 49er Cal High Sports Report.
Just another game for Amador Valley's Keegan Sheehan.
Keegan has earned his way onto the roster for the Dons and is listed on every lineup card the team fills out. But Keegan doesn't play. After suffering a stroke at birth, Keegan Sheehan was diagnosed with left hemiparesis and has lived with it throughout his life. The condition leaves the left side of Keeg's body weak and barely functional, while his eyesight is only about 50% functional as well. But on a standout team with no star players, Keegan Sheehan stands out and shines brighter than most.
This year, he's been super special to us. He's been an inspiring guy every day.
Yeah, you know, Keegan's a really good kid. He really brings us together.
My part is to just keep them motivated, keep them focused, and just be loud in the dugout and just be the emotional support.
Sure, Keegan has extensive knowledge of baseball. He helps out with the scouting reports and keeps spirits up. But Keegan's biggest job is to motivate, which brings us to the pregame ritual Amador Valley performs before every game. Of course, led by none other than Keegan Sheehan.
You gotta be louder, boy! A star can win any game! A team can win every game! Pump it up, Kings! A star can win any game! A team can win every game! A star can win any game! A team can win any game! Hey, together on three! 1, 2, 3, together!
Keegan leads this chant before every game, and the cheer's meaning is one the Dons have taken to heart. A star can win any game. A team can win every game. Jake Dronkers, a senior for the Dons, has taken Keegan under his wing this season and explains how the chant started.
That's one of our favorite parts of the entire day. It was just after practice one day, we were just kind of messing around, but everyone kind of just rallied up, and it was really cool experience, and we were really stoked on it, and that was kind of a way that we could get him to be really a part of the game.
And Keegs is most definitely part of the game, and most definitely part of the team. The bond between himself and the other players has grown into a strong one, something Keegan treasures.
It means a lot because, you know, they're not just teammates to me, they're friends. And, you know, whether it's joking around about baseball or joking around about other stuff that I can't mention in this interview, we joke around and we have fun with each other, so.
Keegan puts a good spin on things for everybody and helps guys relax. Contributes every day, you know, I mean, really does. And I think our guys know that, and so that's what makes the relationship really special with him.
Keegan is tight with his teammates. They've even got him a date to prom this year with a senior cheerleader. But as much as he's looking forward to that, Keeg's focus is still on the baseball diamond, still on his teammates, and all he's overcome.
And I'm so blessed just to be alive. I mean, just to be a part of the team, just to have a great support group on and off the field, my teammates and my family. Just, you know, I'm just so blessed to have people in my life that have been there for me every step of the way.
A team can win! Hey, together on three! 1, 2, 3, together!
Coming up, the story of San Jose High School football player Matt Blay and his recovery from a scary injury.
But first, here's this week's training tip by our good friends at the Reka Center.
Hi, my name's Coach Jack. In today's exercise, our monster band walks. Lauren's gonna demonstrate. She's gonna take a band and put it around her feet, and she's gonna pick up her band and hold it in her hands. She's gonna glide, taking a step to her left, keeping her tension on the band, keeping her feet shoulder width apart. She'll take about 5 steps to her left. After that, she'll come back and come the other way. This is a great exercise to warm up your hips and activate your glutes, and that's monster band walks.
Ready, go!
It's just another day of football practice at San Jose High. Senior Matt Blay is here as a coach, not a player, running the team through some warm-up drills.
Go!
It's scorching hot here, but there are no complaints from the players. Just a team vibe of excitement and appreciation for the game coming from their new inspirational coach.
I just love the game. I love all the kids here, seriously. I'm still on the field. That's all that matters. Ready, go!
For his senior season, Matt had to trade in his pads and helmet for a clipboard because of a traumatic event just 9 months ago.
I remember every play except for the play that I got hurt. Like, even the beginning of the play, I just forgot about it.
But when I went over there and he didn't have any type of conscience, I thought we really lost him.
Thanksgiving Day of last year, Matt and the rest of the Bulldogs were taking on Lincoln High School in the annual Big Bone game. Matt, a junior at the time, was the intended receiver on this play, but a blindside hit sent him to the ground, knocking Matt's head back on the turf.
I had a whiplash on my head. If you watch the film from the game, I just I hit the back of my head.
It takes a lot to bring Matt down. You know, he was our hardest runner basically. You know, when he was down, you know, we were all really worried. You know, we all got in a little huddle right there. You know, when it took a long time for him to get up, we didn't know what to do.
You know, that's got to be probably the scariest moment of my coaching career, and probably in my professional career too. You know, as being a police officer for the last 15 years, and when it's somebody that's close to you, it's a lot tougher. It's a lot harder to swallow when it's basically it seems like it was my son on the field.
Firefighters and paramedics were first to respond and worked fast to get Matt to the hospital. Blay underwent surgery to remove a large blood clot between his brain and his skull. Matt was kept in a medically induced coma for a week. All the while, his family, coaches, teammates, and the San Jose community waited for Matt to make it through this unthinkable tragedy.
Seeing how the whole community actually cared, and my mom and dad always being there, that meant the most to me.
Blay endured 3 surgeries. The last had doctors implanting an artificial skull piece, leaving Matt with a large horseshoe-shaped scar on his head. According to the Bulldog senior, the hardest part through all of this is having to hang up his cleats for the game he loves so much.
Once they told me I couldn't play football, I just broke down.
Even though Matt cannot play football anymore, his love for the game and his team could not keep him away from the sidelines.
He's one of the smallest guys, but the kids call him the Beast. He was my best player, and it was hard to lose him, but you know, at least have him out here, it's very inspirational.
We had a captain's meeting a couple weeks ago, and you know, he was in there with us. And he looked at us like, you guys are really lucky to be playing football. I felt like, you know, the passion in his voice, you know, like I know he would give anything, you know, to strap up and be out there on the field with us right now. I mean, shoot, if we gave him a helmet right now, he'd probably rush on the field.
1, 2, 3, 4!
This life-threatening experience surely gave him some new perspective on life.
It gave me the chance to find out that I wanted to be a fireman, so yes. I know I'm short, but everyone judges me, so I love that, proving people wrong.
Matt never had the chance to meet the firefighters who saved his life, but on this day, at this practice, here they are, the same fire truck company that saved Matt's life.
I really don't show emotion that much, but today I had to. One of them saved my life.
Just another day of football practice for the San Jose Bulldogs, but for Matt Blay, it's the start of a new life in football, not as a player, but as a coach.
That's 49ers Cal High Sports Report for this week. Join us again next week for our favorite light feature stories, including the day in the life of Aaron Gordon and Sabrina Ionescu and her life at Miramonte High School. That's next week. We'll see you then.